What's up, people? I forgot to hide that part. Long time no see. This once a week stuff is kind of strange. It feels like it's been too long since I saw you all. But anyway, welcome to our new day. This is What the Fuck Wednesday now. I noticed I'm going to have to go and update my intros and take Tuesday off and put Wednesday in there instead. But I didn't notice that until just now. I hope you guys had a good weekend and it was all nice and lovely and relaxing and all of that. I had a Karen moment today with one of my neighbors this afternoon. Now, I had to get a new car, right? I was not trying to do that, but my other car was like 20 something years old. It was like, it drives well even to now, but I'm doing stuff where I have to go out and meet clients and go to lunch with clients and pick up clients and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I can't keep doing this in this bucket. So I had to go invest in another car. So now, I parked the good car, the new car in my space, and I parked the other car on the street. So my neighbor today, because I parked, the spots like where her husband usually parks, but it's like, it's a public street, bitch. Let's just get over it. So anyway, so she comes up to me when I'm moving my car and she says, well, how long are you going to keep it? And it's not so much that she said it was the tone of voice that she said it in. So it got my attention. And I said, I don't know, with this, like kind of face, like, I don't know, like that. And so then she's like, well, I thought you were going to give it to your daughter. I said, well, yeah, but she hasn't come to get it. And I don't know if she even wants it. Well, does she have a car? I said, not that I know of, but maybe she likes riding with her boyfriend. I don't know what the problem is with her. So then she makes the fatal mistake of saying, well, because, you're taking up a spot that, is on the street. I said, okay. I said, we really shouldn't go here because I like you. So I'm going to try to monitor what I say to you and how I say it. But it's like in your house, there's 2 cars. So you take up as much space on the street as me, right? I said, across the river, there's 2 guys that share that place. They have 2 cars. The neighbor upstairs next to me has 2 cars. So it's like, what are you talking about? It is like, you trying to single me out? Is that what you're doing? I'm the only black one that don't have a good look, right? So then she's like, well, no, I didn't mean that. I said, well, I'm going to suggest that you stop here, that you stop talking about this topic with me, because where I park my car has nothing to do with you. It's not your business. Mind yours. If you don't have none, and get you some. Then I went up the stairs and went into my place. So I know by the time I see her, she's gonna be all bent out of shape. Because usually I'm pretty nice with her and her little husband and stuff. But that just rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, I'm friendly with you, bitch, but we ain't friends. So don't get it twisted. You're not gonna be coming up to me talking to me all kind of crazy and ask me questions that just ain't none of your goddamn business. So, I was gonna go there, but I said, let me just slow down, let me check her, but not in my typical Deb fashion. I just checked her in a gentle Deb fashion and pointed out that she takes up as many parking spaces as I do. So if there's a problem with somebody taking up space on the street, then bitch, your husband is just as guilty as me, because we both have 2 cars. So she didn't really have too much to say about that. So she took her little chubby ass on into her house. It's like, you little butterball bitch, don't fuck with me, because I will tell you all about yourself and you won't like it. So, yeah, that was right before the show. Yeah, she had some nerve, but that's why I had to check her, point out all the people that have, in this unit that have 2 cars. We get 1 parking space, with the unit. But other than that, it's a free-for-all. You better get in where you fit in. And, public street parking or whatever. We have 2 guest spots. But, they usually are taken up by whoever gets there first. I didn't really want to do that because my car would be parked there for weeks. But, so I just park on the street. Yeah, I got her real straight. I mean, like super straight, like arrow straight, real quick. And so, and I preempted it like I said, I didn't really want to go there with you because I like you. However, and then I filled in the rest. But I didn't cuss at her. Save that for another time in case she gets jiggy again. But I think by the time I told her, you need to mind your own business. If you don't have none, get you some. When I was going up the stairs, I think that'll shut her down for the rest of this year. Yeah, but this just happened like an hour ago. And I'm like, this bitch has done lost her mind. You don't understand who you living downstairs from. Because this woman right here ain't about the funny business. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I don't hold a grudge and nothing. I'll be just as friendly to her tomorrow, but I know she's gonna be awkward. But my thing is when I say what I have to say, I'm done with that. Now let's move on. I don't, I mean, unless you did something to me, like you tried to shoot me or something, you hurt my kid, you broke in my house, something like that, then I don't really be tripping. I'm like, I said what I had to say, you understood what I had to say, so let's move on. We that's been settled. But some people get confused when you tell them about themselves like that, and they think, I don't know, they get resentful and they feel awkward and they don't know what to do around you, and it gets really weird. But I don't trip like that. I'm gonna just be me, and that's just gonna be how it is. But yeah, I'm like, she done lost her mind. And she's like one of the few white folks in this building. So it's like, you're the minority here, chick. It ain't the other way around. So you better watch what you say and how you say it. Because, I ain't about that life. Well, she did try it. But she's, because, I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I just don't mess with people. I'm just real mild-mannered, kind of quiet. I stay to myself. I don't be ripping and running inside of people's houses. I don't have people ripping and running it out of mine either. I don't play loud music. I read. I work on my computer. I do video. I mean, I cook. I mean, I'm a pretty quiet person, and I don't have too much to say. But I'm not going to tolerate any nonsense from you either. So she found out today. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought I would share that story with you because, boundaries and speaking up is a common theme on this show, where young women don't know how to do that. They don't have their voice and they're very afraid of what they feel is confrontation. I eat confrontation for a snack. It's like so delicious. Right up there with man tears and my martini is just like sipping it down, just like the best. So I just thought I would share that with you because I already know in this pile of letters, we're going to have some women like that because it's every week. 25 questions. Yep, here we go. Summary of issue. Oh, wait a minute. Yay, she is really clipping she didn't even put the age. Well, I guess she put, okay, anyway, they're in the 28 to 34 age group. It says, my boyfriend wants us to quit our jobs and travel, but I have flight benefits through my job and I want to stay and compromise due to our ages. Let me preface this by saying, if we were in our early 20s, I would do this in a heartbeat, but I'm 30 now and have a newfound appreciation for stability, LOL. Our relationship is pretty much about to be over due to this situation. So as a last-ditch effort, I thought I'd do like a poll to see what the average person my age would do. The pain point is that he wants to quit our jobs, travel the world for a year, and then come back and start over in a new city. No specific city, just one that's warm and not our current one. I'm against it mostly because I'm not convinced that he's not just trying to run away from his problems, and he doesn't really have a plan of how life is going to look after this trip. With me being the breadwinner, I just think it's too risky and that we should compromise with him dropping to part-time work and leveraging my flight benefits once we're married. I have a job that's only 40 hours a week, which is rare in my field. I love to travel, but I just feel too old to be flying by the seat of my pants like I did in my 20s, and I'm in a great opportunity to early retire. I also struggle with unhappiness. He's unhappy because he doesn't like office work and his businesses aren't scaling like he'd like. But I realized that the issues were within, and I suspect the same may be going on with him. And he thinks traveling the world like he did in his 20s is the answer. I don't know, but maybe I just become a curmudgeon. So I wanted your perspective. I'm with you. At your age, that 28, 35 age group is when people are laying down roots, getting married, starting families, buying homes, starting their retirement accounts, doing stuff with their life to set things up for for their 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond. That's when you start in your 30s. So he is in his 30s and he still want to act like a frat boy going on spring break, just traveling all over the place. I'm going to tell you, with you being the breadwinner, I'm not sure, you need to think, I should have wore my shirt. My WIIFM shirt I had on last week What's in it for me? That's what that stands for. And when you look at this relationship that you have with this man, what is he bringing to your life? It sounds like you're doing everything. You're being the voice of reason. You're the one making the money. You're making the decisions. You're being just the mature adult here, and he's acting like a little kid. So I'm wondering what it is that you feel like you're getting out of this situation. Where are you getting supported and encouraged and taken care of by a man like this? You really need to think about it. You know, I know people always be like, well, you always be telling people to break up. And that's because most of the time that's what they need to do because they're in a situation where they're grossly incompatible. They're different life places, different life goals, different understanding of stuff. They don't communicate well. There's all kind of games and lies and stuff being played. One person's a codependent and the other person's like a masochist. So it's like, you know, what is it? A sadist, I mean, and one's a masochist. So it's like, what is it that would make you think that I should recommend a relationship like that? That's the better question. People always be like, well, you know, you just want people to break up. But why in a situation where everything is all messed up like this, should I be insisting that they stay together? I advocate that women take care of themselves and make smart choices that are in their own best interest. I would be contradicting myself to be in a situation, or a woman to be in a situation like this, or any of these others that I always write in here, and for me to insist and recommend that she stay in that situation where her needs aren't getting met, she's not being taken care of, and she's treating a man, a grown man, like a child. I will never recommend that a woman stay in a relationship like that. Never. This young lady's only 30, but she's so mature, she should probably be with a guy like 35, even as much as 40, because of where her head is. This guy is like a little kid compared to her, and she's so out, just so leaps and bounds beyond him, emotionally, mentally, and financially. So for me, I don't see any reason why she would want to be with him, to tell you the truth. Yeah. So you think about what I said, though, and you come to your own conclusions. Question number 2, summary of issue. My girlfriend broke up with me because I wanted to meet my friend after work. They're in the 18 to 21 age group. This is a very difficult moment I'm going through. Me and my girlfriend have been dating for a year and a half, and you only in the 18 to 21 age group, a year and a half already? And lately, she has been having problems with me meeting my friend or just making any plans without her. Yesterday, I had a conversation with her about it, and she admitted that she has some attachment issues and that she'll work on them, but she hates spontaneous plans. Today, my best friend from abroad came to visit me, and I see him maybe once every 3 months. Me and my girlfriend live together for months now. I told her that I'll meet him after work to chat for an hour or so. She absolutely went nuts and told me that I'm doing something she hates and that she can't handle it because she wanted to meet me today, and she broke up with me. Words can't describe how sad I feel. I can't keep canceling plans with my friends over her, but she's not accepting of such little things even. If any more information is needed, please ask Candace to write to me and ask. I just don't know what else to say. Well, I don't see where unless some of this what you put in here she wrote, but sounds pretty straightforward to me. Sir, you have a very immature and insecure girlfriend. There's nothing that you can do with it. You got a friend coming in from outside the country, the other side of the world, and she gonna flip out like that? Again, I got to ask you the same question. Usually this is from women, but what's in this relationship? What are you getting out of this? What, some nook? You can get that from anybody without this kind of headache and with much more fun associated with it. Someone who's more mature, understanding, who would likely be like, oh, that's great that you get to see your friend. Tell him I said hello. Or why, better yet, why don't you invite him over here? How long is he going to be in town? I'll try to cook something and you guys can come over and we'll, cook, and I'll invite one of my friends and we'll have like, a little party or something for him. That would be what a mature woman would do. Knowing that this is your friend and your friend lives on the other side of the planet. But no, that's not what she did. So it's like I told the lady right before you got to think about it. What you getting out of this relationship? I mean, I know you miss her and stuff, and you used to her being around since you've been around for a year and a half. But, just because that's your first girlfriend don't mean it's your best girlfriend, and it certainly don't mean it's your last girlfriend. It's just the first. So let's move on from her. Okay, let her go. She want to go. Say, okay, bye, and go help her pack her stuff and get out. And then you change the lock so she can't be wandering in whenever she gets ready, because you might have somebody else up in there, and then move up, just go on with your life. This is terrible. Question number 3 of 25. Summary of issue. I earn nearly 3 times as much as my girlfriend, and our different approaches to money is starting to cause tension. Do you have any advice? They're in the 28 to 34 age group. I've been living at my girlfriend's place, her own apartment, no mortgage, for 3 years now. She also has a daughter who lives with us. I earn about 3 times as much as her, and I'm living in her apartment rent-free, so to speak. So naturally, she expects me to handle most of the expenses, which I'm fine with. I pay for groceries, utilities, fuel, restaurants, about 70% of vacations, etc. Since I work from home, I do all the grocery shopping and 90% of the cooking, and I make breakfast and lunch for her kid nearly every day when she gets home from school, and I try to make sure not to make a mess of the kitchen in the process. My girlfriend does most of the laundry and cleaning. I work about 60 hours a week, occasionally having to work late in the evening if there's a deadline coming up. My girlfriend was let go from her previous job in September, took 2 months off, and started looking for a new job in November, meaning she applied for 2 jobs that month. I didn't pressure about it until January when I started asking if maybe it would be more effective to apply for more jobs at a time instead of waiting for a response from the company she had an interview with. She did take my advice and found a new job by March. During this time, I paid for everything, and she used her savings to buy new pieces of furniture. Her savings? I admit I got a little upset when she used the last of her money to buy herself a new purse. She has dozens of fucking handbags and a necklace. How is this a priority when you have no money? I didn't say anything because I didn't see a point arguing about it after that. But recently we had a fight because she thinks I don't have any long-term plans and goals. I'm just exhausted, really. I told her I'd like to reach some level of financial stability, but even though my income has doubled in the past 2 years, I'm not saving money. She seemed convinced that I'm saving a great deal of money by not having to pay rent. The reality is that I could easily save more than half my income even if I rented a spacious apartment by myself. I tried to explain that I'm currently bankrolling the inflated lifestyle of 3 people, but she wasn't having it. She complained that she's the one who has to think about home improvements. It's her apartment, not mine, and that she's the one who plans vacations, which I pay for, and started listing things she paid for. Her car payments, some furniture, painting the apartment, etc. Mostly things that increase her net worth and which I directly or indirectly contributed to. Am I looking at this the wrong way, or is she really as unsustainable and unhealthy as I think she is? Where do I draw the line? You should have been drew the line. I don't know what you're doing. You're not married. And this is the same thing I would tell a woman about a man. That's not your wife. So you don't owe her shit like this, all this taking. I mean, it's nice, I suppose, when people are, in that love and you got it like that. But, it's the point now where she's taking it for granted and feeling entitled. So what you need to do is go and find you a place to move into. And then you pack your stuff and you move. And you let her handle her apartment and her kid and her bills all by herself. That's what you need to do. Do you understand me? You need to do that, and you need to do that quickly, because she just getting a little too jiggy, starting to think that, she just entitled to your money and you're supposed to do this stuff for her when it's really completely voluntary and out of the kindness of your heart. Yeah, you don't have to pay rent, but like you said, you're making almost that much more, 3 times as much as she is. You could easily pay some rent for a nice place and pay for all the stuff that you need to eat and all that, and still have money left over because it'd only be for one person. So you need to think about what I'm saying. Put your pencil to paper and calculate the numbers. What they say, crunch the numbers, and then start looking for a place. And it's just you. You need like a 2-bedroom, or maybe just a 1-bedroom. If you're not gonna have a lot of company, you can just set up your office in the corner of the living room or something. But if you're gonna have a lot of people, then you probably want a 2-bedroom. You can put all that stuff away and entertain in your living room area. But you think about it and think about how much you would be paying. You could rent for a while and then you could buy something. Okay. But this is, as you say, this is unsustainable. And it sounds like she's getting a little greedy. Question number 4, summary of issue. My ex-boyfriend keeps reaching out to me after I asked him not to. They're in the 28 to 34 age group. We dated for a year back in 2021, but we broke up due to bad communication, amongst other things, and some emotional abuse. Then reconnected last October and decided to try again. We dated from October till about 3 weeks ago. I am the dumper both times and recently ended things with him again because I realized he hadn't really changed. He just made me believe he did. On top of that, our values, visions, and lifestyles are not in alignment. There's nothing really wrong with him, and he can be a decent guy, but I just don't think we're compatible, and he needs to sort his life out. I politely and respectfully told him that it's best that we go our own ways. And please don't reach out to me again. I also have him blocked on everything because I'm working on my healing journey. I also have some reason to believe he may be a covert narc, but that's a whole nother story. But last night I got 2 separate knocks on my door about 15 minutes apart. The first one, I was in the shower and didn't think much of it, but then the second happened after I got out, and there were flowers and a note on my doorstep from him. He was nowhere to be found when I opened the door. The note said all the things he said to me before about how he should have done more. I was right, he misses me, etc. I find it very unsettling that he waited around outside my apartment to knock a second time to make sure I got the note and flowers. He's also tried to text me and reach out on social media after the breakup, but I had him blocked and didn't respond. While I appreciate the gesture, I don't want to be with him again, nor do I want to be with anyone right now. I have some inner healing to do, and that's my main focus. I'm worried he won't stop and will keep trying to get in contact with me. What should I do about this? Well, you did all your blocking and everything. If you're renting a place, have you thought about moving? Have you? If not, then, if you own it, then I can understand why that wouldn't necessarily be a consideration. But if you're just renting the place, then just rent another place. It's not a problem. And rent a place this time, it has security. So somebody has to, he can't get right to your door. He has to go through like a guard or something like that. Like one of them gated community type setups. That's what you need. So he can't just get to you anytime he wants to. I would have, had you asked me before he, when he left the things out there and you asked, well, what should I do? He brought these flowers and stuff. I would tell you to leave them there. You never pick them up or acknowledge them, and you definitely don't bring them into your house. There's been situations where girls brought flowers and stuff and stuffed animals and stuff into their house, and the dudes had spy cameras in it. So you bring it in their house, they're listening and they're watching everything that you do, especially if you make the mistake of putting it in your bedroom. Now they're seeing everything. So I would never recommend that if an ex gives you anything that you do touch it, that you bring it into your house, that you take it into your car, that you put it in your desk at work, nothing. You put it in the nearest garbage receptacle, or you just leave it there and hope somebody takes it. Never do that again. And for those of you who are listening, this is very important because, like I said, there's too many cases where, them little things, they're little spy bug things. And they're listening to everything that's going on in your house, and they're watching you. And you don't even know it because it's inside the stuffed animal or the vase or, whatever they done gave you, whatever picture, whatever, it's in there. And so here you are all innocently hanging up on your wall, giving him a 360 view of everything that's going on in your house. So I never accept anything from exes. I don't give a shit what it is. Mail, nothing. It returns to sender or just into the nearest garbage can, shredder preferably. So that's something that you should think about. You did what you're supposed to do, block him. The only other thing that you could do is change your phone number. But since you did block him all the way, I don't know if that would even be necessary. But, and you don't need to justify that you don't want to be with him. You don't need to tell me that. I don't care about that. There's no reason. You already said you don't want to. That's good enough. That's all you have to say. I don't need a dozen reasons and justifications and, laws and all the stuff that you're trying to trot out here to make it sound good why you left this fool. I don't care. We weren't happy you left him. That's all I need to know. Okay. That's all you need to know too. The main mistake that you made here is though you got out of a relationship with a fool. Once you said he was abusive, that was a wrap. Why did you go back? That was the dumb thing that you did. So just, you said he convinced you that he had changed. They never change. They just get better at lying. Okay, so now you know that. So never you break up with somebody in the future, never go back. Never. Question number 5. This is a summary of the issue. My ex-fiance messaged me for 5 months after calling off our wedding. So this is a young man in the 28 to 32 age group and the young ladies in the 22 to 27 age group. I have seen and watched so many advice videos, both on TikTok and YouTube, about moving on, and that my ex will regret that he left me since I did everything I can to be a really good partner. I changed my job. I gave up my dreams, my friends, my social life. He doesn't want me to go out much, and I have a curfew with him because what kind of decent woman goes out after 9 p.m.? I've given up my pets. I adjusted to his time and his wants, and even put up with his attitude when he was doing below the bare minimum. Wow. You was a sucker for real. I know I was dumb, but I loved him. I gave him my life. I heard my mind literally crack when he called off our wedding and told me he was having second thoughts about our relationship since he feels he wasn't ready yet. He messed up big time for being too overconfident with money, and he would always make me a second priority after his family. When we broke up, I had to pick myself up from rock bottom. I had to schedule my breakdowns twice a day just to perform well at my new job, watch videos about breakup advice just to keep myself together. It was a fight with myself, and I tried my best to keep it under control. Now, after 5 months, they were right. They always come back. He followed me on a social app and he messaged me. I just stared at the message. Before I would reply immediately. Now I feel a little sting, but mostly disgust. How is it so easy for him to neglect his fiance and then message me like nothing happened? Like, what would he expect? That I would just forgive him like nothing happened? My family and friends checked on his profile and saw that while he was doing better, he was doing way worse. He was handsome before, and now he looked like he aged 10 years. And he's ugly. He ran it on social media why he can't find the right girl. And before it turns out was low-key hint to people that the reason we broke up is that I cheated. And all those talk of him putting himself first and fixing himself were all cheap talk since he still hasn't grown a bit in maturity. How is he this heartless or crazy? Okay. Why are you writing me a letter about this fool? Let's start there. You are entirely too focused on an ex. Who gives a shit about his donkey ass? To the point where you wrote 955 paragraphs analyzing his behavior and his relationship and what he said and what he did in a relationship that you don't even have anymore. I don't even know what to say to you. You just sound a little stupid. That's what I'm going to tell you. There's no way in this, what he's talking about. They're right. He always come back. Of course they come back. You know why they come back? Sniffing around to see if there's some opportunity for some trim. That's all he wants from you. Don't get excited thinking that he's going to try to come back for a relationship. He wants some booty. Okay. That's all it is. From someone who's familiar, who he knows is dumb, and to give it to him with all kind of high hopes and thinking that it means something. That's why he's calling, looking you up. There's nothing more to it than that. Don't get it twisted and don't get your feelings all involved. You're like, now he's messaging me like nothing happened. See, you putting too much on it. It's not like that. They do that all the time because they just want to, even the ones who go and get married, engaged, or married to somebody else, they still reach back and check and see what you're doing if you let them, if you leave those avenues for them to do that open, to see what you're doing and to try to talk. It's cool and everything, but it just really was better with you. It was better with you. I don't know why we broke up. I don't even understand what went wrong. Like, let's get together and let's talk about it. And most of you are stupid and you fall for it. And the next thing you know, all kind of stuff is going on the mattress that you didn't really want to happen. But there you are, because you was dumb. You was dumb and you fell for the okie doke. That's why, exes, I don't know, they are just immediate block. Immediately. I mean, like the second that I'm like on my way out the door from talking to them and the breakup just happened, I'm in my phone blocking them like right there. You can't even call me when I get to my car to start wanting to fight some more about it. Nope. We're done here. Once I step foot on the other side of that door, it's over. You out of my life, out of my world, out of my hair, and just out of my thoughts. You out. So I don't know why y'all don't do that better. He looked like he aged 10 years. I would have been like, yay. I wrote him a note and said, God damn, what happened to you? You look old and ugly. Question number 6, summary of issue. Is it weird to ask if the person wants to be exclusive after the first date? So he's in the 28 to 34 age group and she's in the 22 to 27 age group. I'm not the type of person who want to date and sleep with multiple people at one time. This is a guy writing now. I would take a person that is dating / sleeping with other people other than myself while dating me as less serious than if they were exclusively dating me. Is it weird to ask if they want to date exclusively after the first date? I wouldn't want to waste my time. Not asking for a relationship, just if they are going to be sleeping and dating other people while we're dating. I'm wondering why on the first date you think that's your business, sir. Why would somebody who just met you don't know nothing more about you than what 10 minutes of time would take at some little Mickey Mouse first date. And you think that they're going to devote all their time and energy to dating just you. Why would somebody with good sense do that? I mean, I know a lot of people like to do, they like to date one person at a time. I don't understand that because it's a waste of your energy. It's stupid. So you just go down the road over here with that person that don't work out, then you got to come back to the starting gate and go down the road with this other person, then come back and start over and go down. So all the time you waste when you could have dated all 3 or 4 of them at the same time and just weeded them out that much faster. So, you spend all these months going down these different alternate routes when you could have figured all that out in 2 weeks and got rid of all of them real quick. So I don't know what kind of thing you're trying to do here, why you would want to expect somebody to make that kind of commitment to you on the first date when they don't even know you. I would tell you how stupid you are and probably cuss you out and get up and walk out. Putting that kind of pressure on me. Yeah, you did that. I would say, like, look, clown. Nobody committing to you. Yeah, I'm dating other people, and you need to not take it seriously because it's not serious. It's not serious. We just met like 20 minutes ago. What are you talking about? That's like somebody who's trying to rush into a commitment, rush past the getting to know you phase into a relationship, into a commitment. With, just bypassing so many steps, the gradual steps that people follow to before they feel comfortable with committing to someone. He wants you to skip all that and just commit to him off the bat just because he wants you to. Yeah. I'm like, I gave up my no wine journey. I'm like, I can't do it. I was about to hurt somebody. Question number 7. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Detroit. Summary of issue. I'm joining the military, but people are doubting me. Hi, Auntie Deb. I'm 29 and I'm joining the military. I've always wanted to. I even talked to a couple of recruiters when I was younger, but I always lacked the confidence to pass an entrance exam, so I never pursued it. But recently, things in my life have not been working out for me, not necessarily in a bad way, but not the way I intended it to, and I'm dealing with some setbacks. I'm moving back into my dad's house, my schooling being delayed, my boyfriend and I breaking up. My dad, who's ex-military, suggested I go into the Army Reserve, and I figured I have nothing better going on right now, so why not? I passed my entry test and we're leaving for basic training within the month. The issue is, other than my dad and my grandma, nobody in my life believes I can pass and handle basic training. Also, everybody keeps bringing up my age as if I'm an old lady. Yes, I'm a little old to be going into military, but I'm still young. I just turned 29. Specifically, my ex-in-laws told me that they didn't believe I could handle basic training. They think I'm being naive and that I'm too weak to handle it, which really hurts. I know it will be hard, both physically and mentally, but I do know I can push through it and do it. Okay, wait. Your ex-in-laws, why are you dealing with them? You got kids or something that what's going on? Okay, let's see what else you say. My question is, should I just stop talking to them after this? My ex and I don't have any kids together, so there's really no reason for me to keep talking to them. It's just that we were so close for so long. Am I being too sensitive, or should I just cut off contact with them? You should have been cut off contact. See, that's why I said, did you have kids? I mean, I can understand them being around them if there's your kids' grandparents and, there's family events and birthdays and weddings and graduations and stuff like that the kids would, I mean, that's their family. So you would definitely bring them to events of that nature. But, that's what I was asking. But then in the next paragraph, you explain that you don't have any children. So there's really no reason for you to keep talking to them. So what you do is you go on your social media pages and you close your pages. So if you whoever they are, you remove them as friends from your social media accounts. On your telephone, you go and you block all their numbers. You go into your email account and any email addresses that they have that direct them immediately to your spam folder. And then you cut ties with these people. I mean, it's like you trying to move on to your bright and shiny new life, but you're keeping one foot in the past and interacting with people that just want to drag you down. They have no loyalty to you. They have no reason to encourage and support you. They're all tied to, they're the boy, their relative. So any reason that you give them, because you did that by opening your big mouth, give them to put the smash on you and make you feel bad for leaving dude and, him being a brokenhearted and all that stuff, they're going to take it. Then don't you see that? You don't ever put yourself in a position like that where his relatives can gang up on you and bully you and feel like they're getting you back for what you quote did to their son, grandson, brother, whatever, whoever he is. That's what the dynamic that you put in place there. You should have never been telling them all your business. Once you all got a divorce, they're not any relatives of yours anymore. Okay, they're not even friends. They're friends with him. Their allegiance is with him. And that's the part you got confused about, you thinking that they still give a shit about you like family. They don't give a shit about you. They're going to say whatever they can say to fuck you up. And that's now you get to see what happened. So wise up, chick. But leaving people alone. That's not your relatives, those are his. They're not your friends either. Yeah, I'm just like, question number 8, summary of issue. How should I talk to my roommate about boundaries? They're both in the 28 to 34 age group. I'm really bad at noticing and communicating boundaries due to family and relationship trauma, but I'm trying. I moved in with a coworker friend I didn't know very well about 4 months ago, and I did notice some red flags, specifically stating that she has boundary issues, meeting a roommate because she didn't feel responsible enough to live alone, emotionally dumping on me from the beginning. I was just desperate for somewhere safe to live, and she seemed cool enough. I do enjoy spending time with her sometimes, and it was trying to be a chill roommate and fine with whatever, but I've recently been feeling so tired and off center and realized I actually don't like some of the things that she does in the house or with me. Mainly the fact that she seems to have no psychological boundaries. What the fuck does that mean? She projects her cultural insecurity on me a lot and has really negative image of our ethnic group and rejects my experiences when I tell her otherwise. Then lectures and interrogates me on my worldview and judges my experiences that she doesn't understand, which is very offensive to me. She wants to eat most of our meals together, which is too much for me, and also not good because she eats a lot of things that I don't digest well. She sometimes yells on the phone at her family members and has been enmeshing me into her life since the beginning. Wants to spend all her time with someone. Well, I need to spend a lot of time alone. Has a boyfriend and parents over all the time without telling me. I didn't sign up to live with a couple and only sometimes lets me know if a friend is going to be over. I want her to live her life and I can't control everything in the space I've agreed to live with a roommate, but it really feels like her house and I'm just living in it. She's a good person, but she has intensive main character syndrome, essentially. A couple of days ago, her boyfriend and her were just in the living room all night and into the day while I was working, and I just felt so annoyed, and I didn't talk to her while she was in the kitchen. Now she's avoiding me, and her boyfriend is over every day, which only makes me madder because I try to talk to her without him around. Like, I know I need to talk to her about these things and set boundaries, but she has been constantly out or about to leave, or with her boyfriend whenever I've seen her. I also just feel bad, like I'm about to ruin her fun or get mad. I can't even communicate properly, or like I don't even know how to talk about the psychological boundary stuff because who does that? I'm also a baby about having talks like this. Any help on talking to her would be appreciated. Thanks. I can't give you any help because you don't have the courage to do it. Everything that you said here, you're just like a little chicken. There's no way in this world that you should have been running here because her boyfriend was there. You should sit down and say, look, dude, another woman lives here. You can't be here all the time. You need to set a time where you come once a week or something, and she goes to your house. But you can't be here all the time. There's no room for me to be private, to have privacy in my own space that I'm paying for because you're here all the time, and it's not comfortable for me with you to be here like this. So, I don't understand why you can't say that. Why you can't tell her, I don't want to eat with you all the time. We'll eat together on Sundays or something. Other than that, I'm going to eat what I want to eat because you eat things that upset my stomach, and I can't eat those things that you eat. I don't understand why you can't say, you bring people into the space that, that I'm renting to without my consent. I don't like to have a lot of guests running in and out of the house all the time. If that's what you want, why don't you go to their house instead of bringing them here? Because it disturbs me when you're having all these different people running in and out, all the different energy, all the different noise. I can't stand it. And I'm going to tell you, either you curtail this or I'm going to move out. And you'll have to figure out how to pay this rent by yourself. Because I'm not going to be subjected to this when I'm paying rent for peace and quiet and a safe place for me to be. And I'm not getting that. Now, I don't understand why you can't say that to her and to that raggedy ass boyfriend she got. I would have been said it. Like the first time he was there for, day after day, I've been like, when are you going home? You don't live here. And I'm tired of every time I come into the main room, here you are. Go home. Or you want to go be with him, go be with him at his house. But every time I come out into the main area where I'm paying rent, I don't want to see his face here because he don't live here. If he's going to start living here, then he needs to pay a third of this rent and these utilities and stuff. Because, I wouldn't really care too much as long as I'm not coming out of pocket. But if he's going to be stepping up and paying, then that'd be one thing. But he's not. He's going to be running up the water and running up the power and, doing everything and expecting me to come out of pocket to cover that half that he's, that he's using up. No, we're not going to do that. So I don't know, you think different. I would see my dollar signs flying out of my wallet because of her boyfriend and her parents and all these different miscellaneous stray people she want to have running in and out the house. I would see that I'm funding these guests. And I'd be like, oh, hell to the no. You're going to be around these people in here. Then you need to pay 2/3 of the expenses and I'll pay 1/3 because that other third is all these miscellaneous stray folks that you be having up in here all the time. Showering, eating, flushing the toilet, using the toilet paper, using the soap. And all this kind of stuff. I don't want to be bothered. That's how I look at things. I'd be calculating. And then I'd be looking for me a place to move out. Just like you live in a roommate situation with her, you could find a roommate with somebody else. Go to a rental agency. They have those roommate kind of things all the time. Specify that you want to live with someone quiet and mature, and you shouldn't have a problem. Question number 9, summary of issue. My friends use me as a butt of their jokes, and I don't know what I should do about it. I mean to put my friends in the title. Anyways, not even joking. They make fun of me every time we hang out together. I'm autistic, so it takes me a while to even realize they're making fun of me, but it feels awful. Oh, so they're bullying you. They'll do it for major traits of mine, such as liking comics or anime, which is my core special interest, or minor things. They'll say I can't do things. For example, there's this party on my campus that I found out about, and they lectured me on why it's not safe and how I won't know any better. Safety is one thing I take extremely seriously, and I know self-defense well. It's also a small campus, and not once have I ever felt threatened or unsafe at a party. Plus, that would be for me to decide anyways. I'm just tired and fed up with them making fun of me, though. Every time we hang out, I get this pit in my stomach, and I feel my face get red. I feel like I can't just cut them off because I'll see them everywhere. Anyways, but it sucks because they're the only friends I have, so I don't know what else to do. Make new friends, sweetie. Start making new friends. Join some clubs or something on campus. Start going to some different events, meetups or whatever they have available for young people in your age group and wherever you are going to school. You go and socialize with new people. And you can also find out if there's some kind of like autistic group or something, or either on campus or in the community, and network with them and find some people who will understand you and be supportive of you and encouraging of you and have your back. And then you can gradually start letting go of these people because they don't mean you any good. They're very unhealthy people to think that because someone is autistic, that makes you a target for ridicule and for them to make jokes about you and harass you and bully you like that. They're not nice people, because kind people would never do something like that. They would be trying to protect you and make sure that you had a good time and make situations more inclusive for you. Then it sounds like you're very high functioning. You're in campus and all that, so it's not like you are lacking. Don't sound like, but they want to use that to make fun of you, and that means that they're the ones who are bad people, not you. So do what I said. Talk to your school counselor and see if there's they can make some recommendations for socialization for people with autism. They may be on varying scales. You sound pretty high functioning, but still, it would get you away from them and the opportunity to meet, new people. And then even if they are autistic, they have siblings, they have other friends, they have relatives and stuff. So it'll increase your social circle. And I think there'll be much more healthy relationships for you. This sounds stupid. I know you probably don't cuss folks out, but it sounds like a prime opportunity for that to happen. Knuckleheads. Question number 10, summary of issue. My boyfriend gets defensive and doesn't listen. So she's 39 and he's 29. Girl, that is your first mistake right there. He's a kid. We have been dating for a year, during which we have hit a couple of walls, which I guess is normal, but some are bigger than others. I recently discovered that my boyfriend has been watching popcorn, which he knows I have an issue with due to close personal reasons, not insecurity or lack of trust. And he still had active dating apps going on behind the scenes. Profiles still active, but not engaging in them when things were good. Okay, so you knew all that, and yet you stayed. Whenever we fought, he would jump back on them and talk to other girls, even obtain their numbers. He said he did it to make himself feel better, knowing he could still get a girl if I broke up with him. Insecurity management, I guess. This has been going on in the background for over at least 6 months until I found all this out recently. Obviously, it's left me feeling distant, unsure, and questioning if this guy is right for me. You ain't figured that out? He took no accountability for what happened and made changes. And since then, we have been pretty much okay, I guess. I still feel anxious that he lies about popcorn and other stuff here and there, but I'm getting better and learning to trust. And I think I've handled these situations really well. He also reassures me that he hasn't done anything like that again. But a couple of nights ago, we were out and I saw that he was checking out a girl at dinner, which brought on some anxiety, which I was able to sit with and come to my own reasoning about what was properly going on with his checking out this girl, and I let it go. Unfortunately, the very next night we went out with my family and I saw him doing the same thing, but it upset me. Okay, so you just went on and on about all this stupid people, except with this stupid man. Okay, let's see. Where should I pick up? He reacts and gets defensive, doesn't take the moment to reflect and feels warranted to fight back with words because of what I say, such as me saying I'm leaving and him saying, yeah, get out of my place. If I'm upset, he needs to get upset too. Where's the safe space for me to firstly get upset and then secondly, for me to come back after I really need some suggestions on what to do here? Thanks. You need to slap yourself. First of all, you like a year away from 40 and you messing with some dude that's not even 30 yet. You know, men are stupid until they get about 35, 36 years old. So this guy is already 10 years younger than you, and he's showing you in every way that he's a little garden tool, and he's disrespectful, and he's useless. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that what are you getting out of this? Again, what are you getting out of this except for a bunch of insecurity, jealousy, and worries and disrespect? At almost 40 years old, you should be past the stage of life. This is stuff like teenage girls do. These young girls writing in the early 20s. You got 20 years on them. And yet here you are still doing the same dumb shit that a 19 or 20-year-old girl would do. Are you that desperate? Because that sure is what it sounds like. Like you must be ugly, all looking all misbuilt, and all kind of stuff must be going on with you that you feel like you have to settle for this clown. Check yourself, chick. This dude, he don't give a shit about you. You need to care more about yourself, and then you will see that this is a waste of your time and energy. Question number 11, summary of issue. Is it okay to have this boundary, or do I need to work on myself to not be bothered by my boyfriend? So he's 28 to 34, and she's 22 to 27. My boyfriend has been more and more open with discussing other women with me or blatantly checking them out in front of me, and it bothers me a lot. Although in our 2 years of dating, he has called other women good-looking, mainly actresses, and I've caught him glancing at good-looking women while we were out. It's never been over the top. If I feel uncomfortable, like when I saw him openly looking at hot Instagram models that he doesn't even know, I told him I don't like that and not to do it in front of me. Y'all don't have no game at all. It's been okay until recently. The past month or so, he's been more and more disrespectful. I put this in quotes because I'm not sure if it's objectively disrespectful or I'm just being overly sensitive. I also want to mention that our eggplant life has been awful for the past year, but after many, many discussions, it's kind of better, but not really. I can't help but feel jealous when I see him openly checking out other women, taking multiple glances while he's out with me, seeing him opening up Instagram and looking at beautiful women, and openly calling other women pretty when I don't feel secure in that way due to the lack of passion and intimacy. So should I work on my jealousy, or is this a normal boundary to bring up? No, what you should be bringing up is I'm out. Boop, deuces. You just know. Let me shut up. Just what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you getting out of this situation? This is a headache. And he's old anyway. Girl, drop this fool, dump this fool, and don't be writing any letters about these kind of useless men. He's not into you. He's probably gay. He's sitting up there looking at all these different women and stuff, and he's still not, nothing's happening in the bedroom. I don't know, but see, my thing is when people do that kind of stuff, I fight fire with a flamethrower. So he gonna sit there and looking at other women. I'm gonna flip to Instagram and look at all the men. You know, they had that Facebook page. What's that thing? The gray sweatpants Facebook page, where it shows the imprints of the, what's going on in their sweatpants. And most of the men on there be black. I would be flipping open. I'll be looking at that, and I'll be oohing and on and like, oh my God, all over the place. That's what I would be doing. Every time he want to look at other women, I would flip that page open, or I would start talking about how I wish that I would meet one of them dudes and how much better they must be in bed than him. And yeah, it's too bad, that's not over here, that kind of stuff. I would just wear him out with it. Then I'd leave him. But first I'd have to dog him, because I know me. I'm not just going to leave peacefully. I'm going to leave after I create a ruckus. Yeah, that's what I say too. You can play that game, and a woman can play it way better. Because even if you're not built that good, every woman has something about her that's sexy. I mean, she might have booty, she got great legs, she got a cute face, she's got chest, whatever it is. Because there's always men who are attracted to that one part. They like everything, but that one thing gets their attention more than other things. So whatever you got that's good, you emphasize that. You got the tatas working, you put on the most off-the-shoulder, low-cuttest top, and that's what you wear. And every time you go, so every man who's into chest his eyes is going to be all over you. So as soon as he starts looking at other women, you can say, look at all those men looking at me, though. You got great legs, you wear mini skirts and high heels and stuff, girl, going to be following you down the street. So, you got to figure out what your thing is, what's your high point on your body. And you dress in a way that accentuates that. And then you clown him when he gets like that. That's how you do men behave that way. You don't let them get to you. You double down on the bullshit and show them what it's like. Question number 12. Summary of issue. Are strong, independent women, quote, unlovable? For context, I am African-American, 39, a mother of 2 young children, was in a 15-year relationship which broke down due to infidelity. I'm successful in my career. I own my own home with a hefty mortgage. I drive a nice car, a holiday once a year with possibly odd weekends away thrown in with my kids or with friends. Many years ago, before I met my ex-partner, someone I worked with, an older guy that I had a huge amount of respect for, said to me, quote, "You're far too independent. No one will ever marry you. Women like you are unlovable." Wow, you didn't cuss him out? I was hugely taken aback by it. It wasn't said in malice, more as an observation. My career wasn't established at that point, and I was working as a receptionist with dreams of taking over the business. I did and became the first female director on the board. Now I've been single for 16 months. No great shakes in time, but as my kids are with their dad and I'm sitting in the garden contemplating, I wonder if this could be true. Am I and women like me with independence and drive who are financially independent and know their worth simply too much for most men? Most Black men, yes. I love to share my life eventually, but the impression I'm getting is I'm a fantasy, a conquest to shag and put in her place. At work, yes, I have to be firm, but out of work, I'm completely the opposite. I can't help but wonder whether anyone will ever take the time to find that out, that I have this big old heart, that I love to laugh and I love music. That's the simplest of things that make me smile. I won't dumb down for anyone. The feminist in me won't allow it. I'm just wondering whether I am too much. I'm not horrible looking. I'm soft around the edges at a size 14. I have a good time with people. Do you think I'm too intimidating? No. But what you have to understand, this girlfriend, I'm going to tell you this. 90% of the men on this planet have low self-esteem and zero confidence. None. They don't have no confidence at all. Some of them are good at faking it. A lot of bravado. That's the ones who want to, try to act violent to women and stuff like that. Inside, they're scared little boys. They're striking out. They want to use that to kind of intimidate and kind of control someone because they don't know how to get you just by being regular and loving and supportive and stuff. So they use, these tactics. The same thing with them dudes that follow those pickup artists online and those guys with, giving them instructions about how to say certain things and do certain things to get women and use dark secrets and all this old shit here. All of those kind of things, those men are all in these dudes' pockets because they know that most men are insecure and have no confidence and no game. So if you got a guy who's insecure and has no confidence and stuff, he doesn't know what to do with a woman. So he's out here listening to these idiots on YouTube and paying $1,000 to go to these seminars, thinking it's going to help him get a girlfriend or wife. When really they would do better to sit down with their aunties and sisters and cousins, female cousins, stuff like that, and get information from them. Go to the source and get information from women about what women are looking for, not from these dudes who are telling people all kind of crazy stuff and it's wrong. Okay, let me tell you an example. Okay, so I'm on TikTok, right? And this white boy got this, he's up there demonstrating something with some girl. And he's saying how you go to a woman, you're trying to talk to her, right? And he says, you have to make this pause because during that pause, she'll build anticipation or some shit. I don't know, some crazy comment. Yeah, just whatever. I mean, I was looking at it like you out your mind. So he's sitting up there telling guys to go up to a woman and say, excuse me, and then not say nothing. And just, I guess, supposed to be waiting for her to say what or something like that. I'm like, that shit must only work on 18-year-old dumbass white girls because that shit's not going to work on a sister or any other kind of woman with any kind of self-esteem. Because you're going to be sitting up there saying what and then not saying nothing. She'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you stupid ass? You sit up here in my face and tell me, excuse me, or whatever, and then you ain't saying nothing. Motherfucker, get out of my face. And that's going to be the end of that conversation. We don't. One thing that we just know you come across as insecure and stupid. Don't listen to these dudes online unless you just want a woman who's young and dumb. I mean, I guess then that might work. But any woman who's like, time is money. Time is money, and you wasting her time talking about excuse me, and then you ain't saying shit. You just gonna sit there looking at her and breathing? You big dummy. Get out of my face, wasting my time. Fuck out of here. That's what he's most likely to get, right? Who's gonna be sitting up there? So I had to post that under his video. I don't know if he deleted it or not, but I was like, this is stupid. You should not be telling dudes this. If a dude is going to approach a woman, he needs to do so confidently, saying, excuse me, young lady, or, whatever his greeting's going to be. My name is such and such. I was just observing you from across the room. And, whatever your compliment is or whatever your interest is. And then, could you mind if we have a few minutes of conversation? I have a bridge I'd like to sell you. I don't know, something. I mean, sometimes corny lines work. But I mean, approach a woman with some confidence. Roll up there like you own the joint. Like, even if she says, get out of my face, you'd be like, okay. You don't have to tell me more than one time I'm out. And, with a smile and a sense of humor, maintaining your dignity. Not like some dudes who get all in their feelings and like, you bitch. And now they want to act stupid. And then she knows that she was right to reject you. Whereas if you had done it with some sense, she might come back and say, I was a little short with you there. I'm sorry. Are you still available? You want to have a conversation? So then she, you leave on a high note. It's going to make her look at you retreating and be like, oh, he seemed pretty cool. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. That's the real thing. Women are looking for you to come with some confidence and some kind of sense about yourself, not to use stupid tricks where you pause as she's sitting there impatient and getting irritated because you ain't saying shit to her. So I forgot what the little white boy's name was, but I'm like, boy, if you don't sit down somewhere and shut up and stop telling people to do this dumb shit. So anyway, the long story short, girlfriend, most of the men are like that. They're looking for all the help they can get because they don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to women. They have no confidence and their self-esteem is in the toilet. So they're looking for women to build them up. That's why they want women to submit to them so bad. They want women to listen to them and to, quote, let them lead because they have no confidence. A man who has confidence in himself as a man doesn't have to ask for those things. He's just about those things. You're going to naturally follow him because he's a leader, because he positions himself as someone who is decisive, positive, energetic, and who's striving towards goals that you want to be a part of because the way he presents himself. You don't need him to demand that you follow or submit to him. It's something that happens because you like his program and you're like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of what you got going on here. So there you two go. But if you don't have a man like that, which sounds that's what you're running into, including your old boss, these are the kind of guys who need to have a woman beneath them to feel like they're men. If you have a guy who's confident, he's an alpha, he wants his alpha queen right by his side. He don't have to worry about you falling back or succumbing to bullshit and games and not being able to hold up your end of the bargain. He knows that no matter what happens, you got this shit. You got it. That's what a man who's confident wants. Someone by his side that's equally competent and confident. So if that's not what you're finding, I'm going to tell you now to change who you attracted to. Change it. Just start going out with everybody. And then you'll find somebody who interests you. I saw this fine-ass Asian dude at the gym the other day. He was looking at me and I was looking right back. I just want to say an older dude. And I was sitting there doing my seated cable rows and he was doing his triceps. And every time he yanked his little rope, he would look back at me. And I was like, hi, what your name is? But yeah, I'm like, oh shit, I have to figure out what I'm going to do about this so I can get me a date out this sucker. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back to the subject at hand. Question number 13. Summary of issue. My partner can't argue like an adult. She keeps interrupting me when I try to speak and get my point across. They're both in the 28 to 34 age group. Too old for this. Yeah, these men that don't have it together, I just cannot. I'd rather be single till hell froze over and all the little devils went ice skating and pigs flied and all kind of stuff happened rather than be bothered with a man who has no confidence and low self-esteem. I cannot be propping you up. I'm telling you, when I see a man who's weak like that, it just brings out something in me. I just want to bully him. I just want to dog him. I want to just cream him and just crush him because it's like if as weak as you present yourself to be, I want to see how weak you are. So I'm going to push you and push you and push you and push you until you stand up for yourself. And if you never stand up for yourself, then I'm just going to crush you and then I'll be bored because there's nothing left of you. You just mush on the ground and then I'll move on. I'm telling you, that's how I am. So anyway, he says that she won't argue like a grown-up and she won't let him talk. We've been together since 2016. And we had a fight a couple of nights ago. Later that same evening, my mother-in-law had to drive us home because our car is at the mechanics. So I sat in the seat behind my partner in the car. She had her seat far back, which led me to sit uncomfortable with my knees pressed against the back. And she thought because of our fight earlier that I did this out of spite. When we later got out of the car, I used either the head or backrest to get support going out. And while doing that, I actually got her hair stuck without noticing. Obviously, I didn't apologize because I never even noticed. She followed this up by saying I did it on purpose because I was still mad from earlier. When I tried to explain, she began to interrupt me by repeatedly saying, well, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Until I got so fed up, I told her to go fuck herself and come to me when she's ready to listen. The last time we spoke was Sunday and we live under the same roof. What should I do to get through to her? You should pack your shit and get the fuck out. First of all, what person, man or woman, somebody's tall sitting in the back. Why do you have the seat all the way back and you got little short stubby legs? She should have let you sit in the front with the seat all the way back. And she had the short stubby legs. She could have sat in the back. Why did that happen that way? Why did you let that happen that way? Just because it's her mother? Oh, both of you sound stupid. I just don't even know what to say. Okay, question number 14. Me and my boyfriend have been fighting for days about his birthday. Now we're not talking. 28 to 34 age group here. My boyfriend of 9 months wants to celebrate his birthday by camping at a popular national park. We started planning it a little over a month ago and all the campsites were booked. However, a few days ago, I got an alert on my phone and was able to book us a large group site that fits 50 people. I've been looking forward to this trip, but unfortunately, my boyfriend and I have been fighting for the past 2 days with no resolution. I've been asking him for weeks to start a group chat with his friends, but he kept putting it off. I lost patience a couple of days ago, and I asked him why he refused to start a group chat. He started making a lot of complaints about how the group chats don't work, and he doesn't want to micromanage his friends or create work by trying to organize and coordinate everyone. He says we have a date and a location, and that's all we need. I'm honestly mind blown that he's planning his trip like this. When I make suggestions or ask questions, he tells me I'm stressing him out and to leave it alone. Clearly, we have different ideas of how this trip is supposed to go. I thought we were planning a party. I booked the campsite, created an invitation, placed a cake order. Now I'm trying to coordinate with my friends and his so we can have a potluck birthday celebration one of the nights we're camping. But he won't even do something as simple as create a group chat so I can facilitate this. I understand it's his party and he can do what he wants to, but we're talking about more than 30 people camping in a fairly remote area. And his attitude is we're all self-reliant adults. Everyone can do what they want. Shrug. This is very strange to me. I like planning parties. I was really excited to celebrate and meet his friends and plan a party for him. But he says I'm just stressing him out. I feel stupid for making him a birthday invite because apparently I'm overdoing it. I really wanted to plan this, and now I'm very upset and trying not to be spiteful. I'm thinking I'll just cancel the cake and let him handle everything. That's right. The point is, we've been fighting about this when it should be a good time. I'm genuinely very upset about this. You stupid. Last night when we talked, I told him clearly we're not understanding each other. Let's talk once you get back from your trip. He's going out of town for a few days. I don't know what to do next, and I can't tell which one of us is being unreasonable. How do I communicate to him that it's important for me to do this? Or should I just apologize for being so stubborn and let it go? You should apologize for being a dumb bunny. First of all, it's not your birthday. It's not your friends, right? It's his birthday and it's his friends coming to his party. That's three things that don't involve you. And here you are trying to take over like somebody's mother, planning the birthday party and the cake and the balloons and probably hiring a clown and all kind of stuff. You're doing too much. The man says he don't want to do all that and his friends are fine with him not doing all that, then that's what you're supposed to do. As far as the campsite and all that stuff, I wouldn't even bother about that. I would have said, hey, there's a campsite available. You better book it. I'll send you the link. He's a grown-ass man, and here you are getting mad at him because he's not doing what you want him to do about his party with his friends. Do you know how stupid you sound right now? And you wrote a whole letter with 955 paragraphs to complain about him not doing what you want him to do for his party with his friends. You're lucky he didn't cuss you out. Yeah, she just, because it was me, and I told you the first time, no, just let it go. We're not doing all that. My friends know to just show up, and everybody been camping before. They know what the fuck to bring. We don't, these are grown-ass men. We don't need to tell them nothing. You sit down somewhere. Okay, if I told you that, and then you kept harassing me and asking me and trying to get me to do what you wanted me to do, I would cuss your bitch ass out, and I wouldn't care if you was my girlfriend or wife or anything else. I would cut you out because it's my goddamn party, and it's my goddamn friends nose out. If I wanted to be this way because it's my shit, then that's the way it's going to be. Sit your ass down somewhere and you can micromanage and plan your party. But you're not going to do that to mine. We're going to free for all it because that's how me and my friends do things. And, normally I don't like to tell men to do that kind of stuff. But see, when women keep pushing like this, she's showing a lack of respect for his boundaries. The same thing I would say in reverse. He had a boundary up when he said no. And you are not listening to his no. And if this was reversed, ladies, come on now. I would give the same advice because no is no. Stop is stop, and I don't want it is I don't want it. I don't want to means I don't want to. Those are clear, written in stone boundaries, whether it comes from the mouth of a man or a woman. So in his case, he said no, and she's not listening to his no. So I don't feel any greater warrior respect for her getting cussed out than I would for a man who didn't listen to a woman's no. Both of them, people who don't listen, deserve to get told about themselves. I'm just like, it's my wine, Shay. I got my wine back. It just juiced me up. I don't know. I used to get irritated. Like, we used to like to entertain. We'd have card parties and, like game nights and stuff, wholesome shit where people could bring their kids and kids be in the next room and, or outside or something. And the adults in there playing cards and dominoes, dancing, listening to music, just like a thing, but the adults would be separated from the kids. I always made sure the kids, were taking care of like a teenage girl in there watching them or something. But that's what we would do. And he want to invite his friends over and his frat and all that old stuff there. Child, I'd be like, do you want me to do anything? Like I said, he was a better cook than me. Sometimes it's like, yeah, can you make a pot of jambalaya, or can you make some gumbo, or help me, set up the grill. I'll grill and stuff when they get here. Just put everything on the grill for me and stuff while I get cleaned up. Something like that. That would be the extent of my help. Well, do you want me to make potato salad or something? Nope, I got it. You gonna make potato? No, my mother's gonna make it. Whatever, whatever it is. I would sit my happy ass down and play with my baby. Go figure out what music I'm gonna put on, or what dress I'm gonna wear, and how I'm gonna be cute. That would be the extent of my involvement in his event, because that was him and his boys getting together, and they're bringing their wives and girlfriends and stuff. But the invitation went out to the fellas. The fellas bring their wives and kids. It wasn't me inviting them; it was him, and it was his shit. So I would ask, but if he said no, I set my happy ass down, and I did not ask again. She's not listening to his no, and that's showing a lot of disrespect. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. Wholesome shit. Yeah, that family shit, because you can't cuss, because all the little kids there, and half of this frat be going to church and whatnot. I'm like, what you got these holy rollers up in my house for? House about to burst into flames and shit. Okay, so this young lady in the summary of question number 15, summary issue. My friends seem to be getting a little obsessive. Can you please help me? They're in the 22 to 27 age group. I'm going to do my best to explain the full picture, because I really don't know how to handle this. I have a good friend, and for the sake of this letter, let's call him John. I met John back in 2017 at a restaurant I was working with. We've been very good friends since, texting semi-regularly, hanging out every so often, those kind of things. We're really close and talked about anything. She put that in caps. Fast forward to early 2022, John decided to tell me that he had deep feelings for me, and he has since we met. I had some feelings too, kind of to an extent, but I'm very cautious with my emotions. So things started to get a little more emotional between us. I had just gotten out of a 6-year relationship and told him I wasn't looking for anything serious. I just needed to learn to be alone. But that said, one night we slept together, and that's when everything changed. The night we slept together, we were watching a murder mystery movie. John made a comment about how he'd murdered someone once just to see how it felt. Okay, in the cartoons how Roadrunner goes zip, zip, zoom? That would be me. Now, John has always had a fairly dark sense of humor. Girl. So I laughed it off, but it made me feel very uncomfortable. There's that word. That was almost 6 months ago. Now I'm a travel nanny, and I move to new places for months at a time. Haven't seen John since around November 2022. And I got busy, and I stopped replying to him a month ago. That and some other strange stuff has been happening. My social media accounts kept getting hacked, and I can only think that that would change is that my ex from my previous relationship would be blocked from my profiles. But John is very tech savvy, and it's led me to believe it's him. I even tried to stop replying. Since I stopped replying to John, I've gotten 25 text messages on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat from John. I feel absolutely awful because I know I'm hurting his feelings, but this is way too much for me this soon, and there have been some red flags that make me a little nervous. Do you have any advice on how I can put an end to the situation I've gotten myself into? Sorry for the long read, but if you made it this far, I'd love some feedback. Well, yes, I read the stuff, but the main thing is, why do you need all these social media accounts? Close all that shit up. Close it. You're going to be like a player. Don't have one. So you're going to go on all of those things that's going to say delete. Download any images that you want to keep, and then delete the accounts altogether. You don't need social media. I know people like that. The only reason I have it is to promote my shows and stuff. Other than that, I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, all my relatives, I can just see them when I see them and talk to them on the phone or something. I don't need social media to keep up with nobody. It's business for me. For those of you who aren't doing business and you just have all these different social media pages, you ain't making no money. What the fuck you need all that shit for? Close those accounts. Okay, that eliminates 50% of the bullshit right there off the bat, like immediately. The rest of it is stay away from where John is. You a travel nanny, travel anywhere where he's not. Go to Europe. Canada, wherever. Be gone for years. That's what you need to do. But yeah, you close those accounts and then there won't be anything for him to hack. You feel me? Get you a new phone number. You're in a different location now. That's very simple to do. Get you a new phone number, right? With a new zip area code that he won't know. You feel me? So you can do, there's things you can do. Make sure that you don't give your new number out to anybody that knows John. If you have to give a number out to people who know John, get you a Google phone number or use your WhatsApp number or something like that. But I'm really just thinking that you really don't need to be on social media at all. So I don't think you need a WhatsApp either. Get you a Google number, and any place that you apply to or whatever, they give them that number. It can be set to ring to your phone, but they won't actually be calling your real number. So you can close that Google number and you can get a Google number in any area code that you want. You don't have to be where you are. And that's what I would recommend that you do. Question number 16. This is a female in the 50 to 56 age group. Summary of issue. I'm dating in your 50s and physical attraction. I'm looking for your thoughts. If you really like somebody, do they become more attractive to you because you like them? Or can that attraction wear off as you get to know them and they become more familiar? That's an interesting question. What do you guys think? The reason I'm asking is that I'm seeing somebody I really like. We're 6 months in and so far all is good. I'm attracted to him because I like who he is as a person. And we generally get on, and although it's early days, it all seems open and honest and straightforward. For context, we're both in our 50s, both divorced, and have had our share of difficult times. He's kind, funny, and a great dad to his grown children. However, although I'm attracted to him because of his character and overall self, I'm not sure I absolutely fancy him, if that makes sense. He's not my type physically, although I realize this probably sounds ridiculous as we are pretty ancient. But if he's standing at a bar or something, I really don't think wow in my mind or anything like that. I have done this with previous partners, and that has been important to me. Maybe I'm shallow. Does any of this matter? I don't want to go off him. Well, let me just stop here before I forget, because, I tend to go off on my tangent. You went fair to these previous partners. Where the fuck are they now? Right? You went fair and it was important to you, but where are they? How did it end? How was the relationship? Why it was so important to you? Why are you in your 50s and both divorced and have been doing stuff if you picking a man because you go where over him like a fucking teenager? It's totally ridiculous. I mean, he's not repulsive to you. You enjoy talking to him. Don't you think at your age that that's a little bit more important than going fair over a grown-ass man in his 50s? And your ass is in your 50s too, so I don't think too many people are going fair over you. Okay, so let's get real here, chick. Something wrong with you. Okay, physically, I like his face and his hands because we have a lovely time together. It works. The eggplant is good. The conversations are good. I like him very much, and I think he feels the same. It's all a bit new to me, as there really are no red flags. But I'm worried I'll stop finding him attractive as time wears on, and I'm a bit scared by that. How important is it, that absolute lust thing, or am I just being clueless? No, you're not being clueless. You're being a dumb broad in your 50s. The way you're talking is like somebody who's 16. Where's your maturity? That's in the grand scheme of things, because as we get older, we don't look how we looked. I look at myself now, and I mean, I still see remnants of how I looked when I was in my 20s, but it's different. I mean, my dimples are still there, so I got the same bright smile and stuff like that, but things are just different now, and you have to roll with it. And the older you get, the more different it's gonna be. Do you think that you have the hot body that you had when you was 21, chick? So what you trying to hold him to some standard like that for? I'm not going to find him attractive. Don't you think that he might have that same concern? But, usually people, as they mature, they get better sense, and they start looking, they worry more about the intrinsic qualities of the person that makes them feel at peace, that makes them laugh, that brings them comfort and the feeling of security and safety. Those are somebody who's got your back, who if something happens to you, he's going to be right there holding your hand and doing everything he can to make you comfortable. That's what you should be looking for in your 50s. Yeah, you don't want, you don't want somebody who looks like a Gila monster who's a turnoff, but you don't say that. You say you find a lot of different things about this man attractive. So I'm trying to figure, it's like you're trying to talk yourself out of it so you can go for that factor at 50 something years old. You sound real stupid right about now. I think you need to suppress this and continue on with the situation. There's no red flag. Do you know how many letters do we ever get in this relationship where there's no red flags? I think yours is the first one in 30 years. So if you fuck this up because you're looking for fear at 50 something, I just would want to walk to wherever you are and kick your ass myself for being stupid. You know? Oh Lord. See, that's why I had to get my wine going, because these people just make me into alcoholic. I see Angela saying to you up there hollering, girl. I'm just, how you gonna be in your 50s and be this dumb? That's the part that's so disappointing to me. Shay, girl. Question number 17. Summary of issue. My husband treats me like his servant. They're in the 28 to 32 age range, both of them, and they're in the UK somewhere. My husband and I have been married for almost 5 years. I love him very much. He's kind, considerate, open, sensitive, and understanding with everything except for housework. For the first 3 years of our marriage, we ran a business together. It was his dream job that we built from the ground up. It's not what I wanted for myself, but I worked 6 or 7 days a week, both for the business and elsewhere, to earn money for us, and did 90% of the housework, my husband doing small things occasionally. The house was a constant mess because I had no time to keep on top of the things. Each year, the business was at a loss, and we knew it wasn't working out. We could barely afford food, and the workload wasn't sustainable for either of us. He never appreciated that this was his dream, not mine, and that I was giving all of myself to try and make it work. Eventually, after 3 years, we closed the business, and my husband found a full-time job that he loves and is brilliant at. He has a lot of responsibility, works really hard, and is paid well. When we closed the business, we both agreed that I would work a few days a week, 3.5 days for a year, so that I could have time to figure out what it is I wanted to do. Since I had just supported my husband's dream for the past few years, my work is demanding and I have a lot to organize, but I enjoy it, and money isn't a worry anymore. I decided I wanted to use my free time to write a book and practice music. However, my husband is doing even less housework than he was previously, and I have ended up having no time because I'm constantly cleaning, looking after the garden, and doing housework. Soon I'll be starting a full-time job, and I'm so worried that the house will be as messy as it used to be when we had the business. I sat him down for the 50th time and told him that this wasn't working, that I was really unhappy, and that this is how our life is going to be. I would rather be alone. We had a really good conversation. My husband said he understood. We wrote out all the jobs that needed to be done, and he admitted he had no idea there were so many. We divided them, me still taking on 60 to 70%, and agreed that we would each take complete responsibility for our jobs. That was 2 months ago. He has only been doing a few things that he agreed to take responsibility for, and most of them aren't done to the standard that we agreed. Some jobs he doesn't do are really impacting, like having no wood for the fire, our only source of heat, or not having any clean dishes, his job. But my husband never goes without clean clothes or food, my job. Oh, well, you don't even understand. You don't understand about quid pro quid. He don't wash the dishes, so you don't wash his clothes. That's how that's supposed to go. He don't do whatever he's supposed to do. There's no fire, no heat. Then you definitely ain't heating up ain't no action going on in the bedroom, because that means you're too cold and you don't want to be next to him. You got to go somewhere under all the quilts to be warm. I feel completely at my wit's end, that I have tried everything to get him to understand how unfair our relationship is and how little he's contributing to our home life. It makes me so frustrated that he does so much on his job but doesn't contribute at home. I feel like he has no respect for me and will only realize how unhappy this makes me when it's too late. I don't want it to be too late, but 5 years is a long time to have been so undervalued. Hiring a cleaner isn't an option. We're okay for money, but we're not rich by any means. If it were an option, it wouldn't change the issue, which is my husband's entitlement. Well, like I said, you need to stop doing stuff that's benefiting him. When you wash clothes, you wash your clothes. When you wash dishes, you wash the dishes that you're going to use. When you cook, you only cook enough for you. That kind of stuff. He's not contributing, so he don't get no benefits of the contributions that you make. That's how I would do things. He's living a life of comfort and relaxation by not contributing anything, and you're letting him do it, and you've been letting him do it for 5 years. I don't understand your thinking, ma'am. You know, it's not like you can twist his arm and make him do it, but you can make him things so uncomfortable for him that he receives no benefit from the work that you do, that you're keeping up your end, but it should not benefit him in one way, shape, or form until he performs the responsibilities that he has, which will then you guys can both do it and both benefit each other. But as long as he's not doing it, because he's, you know, he just want to just do whatever he was doing and still get all the benefits from you doing work, then I would stop doing shit for him. All his stuff would pile up on the floor. He'd be like, I don't have any clean socks. I don't have any clean dishes or any wood for the fire. Sounds pretty even to me. See, like that. I mean, you have to, you know, do it like that so he's not suffering any repercussion from not doing it. It's because you just step up and do it. So you haven't been handling this well, chick. And no matter what you say, you're okay for money, but you're not rich. You don't have to be rich to hire somebody to come in once or twice a week. They come in for 4 hours. It costs, I don't know where do you guys live? I don't know. Wherever it is, you know, you even if they only came once a week for 4 hours, it's still something that would help. So you look into it. You automatically poo-pooing it, saying we're not rich. You don't worry about being rich. You dip into his pocket and you pay for the cleaner since he don't want to do it. I would politely reach into his wallet every time that person came. The night before they came, whatever cash he had, it would be in my pocket. And when the person came to clean, I would hand it to him, and then that would be that. I don't understand how you letting him get away with this. Question number 18. Summary of issues: the complicated world of paying for dates. Recently, I matched a girl online in another state where my parents lived when I was staying there for Christmas. I intended to meet up, but the holidays were busy, so we never actually did. She knew where I was from, though. Our conversation, it turns out she was born there and spent the first part of her childhood there. She's living at home since the divorce, and her parents are very well off. I don't think she pays for anything, which goes on to be a factor down the road. A few weeks later, she reached out after a long radio silence and mentioned that one of her favorite artists is coming to town, and she was thinking of visiting to see a couple of long-term friends and going to the concert with them. She asked if she came that we could meet up. I said, sure, and mentioned that we should FaceTime 1 or 2 times before she came, and we did. After a few intermittent FaceTime chats, I got excited to meet this girl. I also started getting envious of the concert she was going to with her friend. She said that her friend was not the biggest fan of the artist, and she honestly wouldn't mind if we both went and I took the ticket. So we decided on that. So she'd already bought the ticket for her friend, but then she didn't use the ticket with the friend, she used it with you. Okay. Fast forward, she comes to town, and after a couple of dates, things aren't really clicking, and I think both of us felt it. However, we both were kind of set on this concert. So before I head out to pick her up, I was going to pay for the Uber. I thought it courteous to ask how much were the tickets. I assumed they would be more on the cheaper end of things. She casually mentioned that they were $200 each. I honestly was hoping they would be a nosebleed section, but asked her to send me her Venmo. She never does. Well, the concert comes and goes. We say what I presume were our last goodbyes. A little while later, at home, she asked what the Uber prices were. She said she wanted to help with them. I asked her to Venmo request me, even though the ticket seemed to be expensive. I was willing to pay, and I would Venmo request her. Next thing you know, I see a Venmo request for $350. In her request, she then mentions that she never expected me to pay in the first place. This was so much higher than I anticipated, and honestly grew distaste in my mouth. In the request, she said, pay what you feel comfortable. I feel anything less than $350 would be rude, and have so far resigned myself to radio silence while I'm trying to figure out what I should do. A few days later, she sent a reminder text to Venmo to request her for the Uber. Prices continue to increase as I extract more and more information from her. I think she expected me to just pay for her friend, because I doubt her friend would have wanted to pay for this anyway. So what you're saying is she already had paid for the ticket, and now she's trying to, because the friend wasn't excited about going, she basically tried to get the money out of the ticket from you. If you said you were going to pay for the Ubers, then that's what you should have done. You don't Venmo request her for the Ubers that you already previously agreed to pay for. The fact that she never sent you the request for the ticket after you asked her to would be like, well, look, you didn't send it, so I just assumed that you had got them for your friend, and you would just want somebody to go with you. So I never offered to pay for it, and I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to charge you for the Ubers either. I'm going to cover those. And so you're going to cover the ticket, I'm going to cover the Ubers, and we going to part ways. That's what I would tell her. So I don't see how she's going to raise the price from $200 to $350. That'd be a big no. I hope you have texts that set all this stuff out. How much she said the ticket was $200, now it's $350. In case she decides to take you to small claims court, you're going to need some proof that she's trying to scalp you. It's not what the... Okay, let me see if I can sum things up. She had 2 tickets to go to see some artists. The friend wasn't really interested in going anyway. So she tells the guy, he wanted to go. And she tells him the ticket was $200. But she didn't say, just give me the money or something. She never mentioned that. So he offered like an idiot to pay for the ticket. So he said, just send me your Venmo later and then I'll pay for it. But she never sent it. So then he had agreed that he was going to pay for the Uber. But, she wanted the money for the ticket. So she asked him for the money for the ticket and the money for the Uber too. If it were me, I would just send her the money for the Uber that I had previously agreed to pay for, and tell she was going to eat the price of that ticket because she bought it for her friend anyway. So she already spent the money. It wasn't like she came out of pocket just for me. Otherwise, she just would have lost $200 going to the thing by herself. So it wasn't like it cost her anything. That's what I would do. I wouldn't send her ass shit. Block her. Question number 19. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. Summary of issue. Should I move on? My husband and I have been married for almost 2 years. And for the last few months, my husband can't seem to get it together with his finances. Let me start off by saying I'm pretty much taking care of him. Why? Oh my God, these women are just dumb. I pay the entire rent, all the other bills such as internet and cable, car note, car insurance, and food and toiletries while he pays for nothing. For the past several months, I'm getting frustrated because my husband doesn't want to help out. He feels like since I make so much more money than he does, I should carry the bills of the household. Now, granted, he drives for Lyft rideshare full time and drives for Uber at one point, but he got tired of Uber due to their customer complaints. Yet he claims he doesn't make that much money. When I try to suggest other employment, he automatically shuts down the conversation. Girl, you getting set up. You better dump this fool now. He's setting you up to have to pay him alimony. File for divorce now. I hope you have text of proof that he doesn't want to work. You're going to need that. If you don't have it yet, you need to start sending him text saying, honey, when are you going to look for a job, so he can reply? And so you can have a record of the fact that he doesn't want to work, not that he can't find work, because when he gets to court, that's how you're going to try to play it. I've been looking, Your Honor. I've been looking. I just can't find nothing. Why you set up to pay him alimony. Girl, if you don't file for divorce tomorrow, he says he will not work. He will not work a normal 9 to 5 because it's, quote, not God's purpose. And he will not be confined. It's not God's purpose for your ass to eat either. He will not be confined to a work schedule. And he tells me that because I'm not a fully obedient wife, he will not work hard to support me. Wow. When I ask him what it means to be by obedient, he just goes on to say, I do not obey. And I do every single thing he tells me to do. I say, well, let me just tell you how this is going to go. Fuck you and your obedientness. He feels that we should downsize and live in a cheap hotel in the area or in an RV or out in the woods or something so we don't have to pay rent. And he's even suggested living in a car, which I refuse. Wow, you married a dusty bum. In addition, he refused to tell me how much money he makes and all the bills he has to pay every month. So I really have no idea how much money he makes from Lyft and other bills he pays on a monthly basis and the reason for the issues with his finances. I don't have access to his bank accounts, the debit cards, or credit cards. When I ask him, he shuts me down and refuses to show me any bank statements or paycheck stub. Wow, you dumb. One of my dreams is to buy a home. He basically told me that he's not sure if he can contribute to the mortgage. So to make sure when I do buy a house, to make sure I only pay the mortgage on my own without his help because his income is not stable. Our marriage is on its last leg. I can't depend on him anymore to do his part. He just lies and makes promises but refuses to keep them. As of 6 months ago, he just abruptly stopped paying half the rent. Plus, he doesn't help with the car note, not even the insurance. Wow. Groceries, toiletries, nothing. He drives the car more than I do, yet he doesn't give me any money towards the car. Over a year has been since he had given me any type of money towards maintenance or the car note, and he's the one driving it all day to do rideshare while I work 2 jobs to keep us afloat. He doesn't contribute financially like he should, and to add insult to injury, we haven't had eggplant in over 8 months. I don't know what to do. Should I hang in there and stay with him until he tries to better himself? Plus, on top of everything else, I recently just found out there's more, that he's been lying to me all the time about where he grew up, where he went to high school, and his educational background. I'm just so shocked, and I can't believe I'm in this situation. And he has been flirting with other women. What should I do? Like I said earlier, head to the nearest divorce attorney and file for divorce. Get your car and sell it. Turn the cable and all that stuff off. He ain't working. He don't need to be sitting around watching sports and all that stuff. Turn all that off. He wants you to live in the woods and stuff so he can have more money to rip off from you. Girl, I just cannot believe that you are this stupid that you would stay with a man who treated you like this. I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Who would stay with a man like this? Girl. You get rid of this fool. Okay, there's nothing about he's bringing nothing to your life except for drama and agony. You want some companionship, get a dog. It'd be more fun and be more loyal. Question number 20, summary of issue. My boyfriend keeps bringing up my past and it hurts. They're both in the 22 to 27 age range. I've been with my boyfriend for almost a year. We have had our ups and downs. About 6 months ago, he found me on an old website. 2 years ago, I was abused on my birthday. I made the police report. The case is still on hold because it was too painful for me to follow up with that, and no one was supporting me. After that, I had severe depression for 2 years. I started to drink a lot and to hang out with bad people. One of them convinced me to work as an escort, and I did it for a week, but I felt worse, so I stopped. I made some changes, stopped drinking, started therapy, and cut off the bad friendships. I found out that my boyfriend has a popcorn addiction, and that is how he found this old post of 2 years ago. He didn't break up with me, but he says that his perception about me changed, that it was a trauma for him. He constantly asks me why I did it. Sometimes he tries to break up with me over that, but then he regrets it. It's been a little better lately. He managed his popcorn addiction, but 2 weeks ago he was being rude for no reason, so he brought it up at the topic again. He says I need to understand that for him, it was a shock to see me on that website. He says that no other men would have forgave me for that. I felt so bad that I tried to grab my things and leave, but then he started being nice again and comforted me. I have no one to talk to about this. He has made me believe that he accepts me and that no one else would want me, but he brings the subject back up and I have to make him feel better, even though it was a painful moment in my life. It's hard for me to leave the relationship, and to be honest, I just need a small push. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't trust me. He hates when I go out and is constantly asking me if I would cheat on him. Girl, I mean, who cares about all that stuff? The main thing is this man brings up a painful past and throws it in your face every time he wants to, and you stay with him. All this other stuff about, his addictions and, this, who he's flirting with or what sites he's on, and he don't trust you. And I mean, all that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. The only thing really that you should be focusing on is how he treats you. That alone is enough to throw in the towel on this relationship. The first time he did that is when you should have left him. Not making no dramatic display about I'm going to leave, and throwing stuff in your suitcase and being all dramatic like in the movies and stuff. You wait till his ass is at work or something. You go in there, you get your stuff, and then you pack it up, and then you deuce out. Leave the keys on the table. So he knows you're not coming back. That's all you had to do. My God, the drama. But yeah, it's unfortunate you young people are silly. You put all the stuff about your life online thinking that it's private. Question 21, summary of issue. Is it normal that I don't want to go on dates with this guy anymore after what he said? Oh, this sounds juicy. A really simple, straight to the point question. I met this handsome guy some time ago. I felt lust at first sight. He asked me out, and suddenly he said, I'm straight, but I don't really find women physically enticing the way men usually do. For example, I don't think that boobs or their faces look that amazing on average. It's all about how she makes me feel and how I feel about her. To be fair, he didn't say this out of nowhere. I did ask him what he's physically attracted to and what he finds enticing. I've lost the motivation to go on more dates with him. I want to be physically attracted to the man I'm hanging out with. Why should I even bother making him feel good if he's not even into me? Correct me if I'm mistaken, but to me, that's an important aspect. When I expressed my disappointment, he said, but you women always say men aren't physically enticing to you. So why is it not okay for a man to say the same? I want things to be equal. You women want to be enticing to us, but not the other way around. I don't like that. That's why I don't focus on looks anymore, and I don't go for attractive women anymore. I don't want to feel like I start at a disadvantage. I was speechless. He subtly called me unattractive in the process. Well, I don't know if he did all of that, but he sounds like a kook, like he's one of them little tit for tat angry men under the surface. So he got rejected by a couple of women because they didn't find him attractive, and so now he's gonna try to make every woman that comes along pay for it by and hinting that they're not so attractive. But who gives a shit? I mean, why would you? I mean, why would you even care? I mean, why would you write to me asking if you should go out with him again? Like you need validation for your opinion that he's a jerk, that you don't trust yourself enough to make a determination that someone who tries to make you feel bad is not a good person to go out with. You need me to tell you this. Girl, if you don't trust yourself and grow up and make decisions for yourself that's in your own best interest, what is this guy offering you? Nothing. I mean, just saying right there, he's like, why can't we be the same? I want things to be equal. Things will never be equal. Never. Ever. Soon as you can have a baby, motherfucker, then it'll be equal. That's why women have to worry about pregnancy so much. The one who's going to be stuck with the kid is her. That totally ruins all signs and hints of equality. Because the one in the oops that gets stuck with a kid is her. Whose body gets destroyed is her. Who's responsible for a fetus 9 months? Her. Who risks her life birthing a baby? Her. Who's going to be tied to that kid for really forever? You want to say 18 years, but it's really, you never stop being somebody's mama. It's going to be her. So that all of those things heavily skews the scale in a different angle, and it's not going to be even. Ever. So I would say that it's not about him calling you unattractive. He's just stupid. So get rid of him. Don't go out with him anymore. Question number 22, summary of issue. I'm a people pleaser. What's a nice way to shut down unwanted attention from a coworker? So she's in the 36 age group and he's 4, so he's 10 years older, 46 age group. I'm quite plain, so I'm not used to it. A coworker added me on social media and is now sending me messages calling me beautiful. I am not. And sweet woman, also not really, LOL. And it's so awkward. I guess I'm not interested in you like that. I've only been responding to the normal messages he sent and generally not opening them if I can tell they're flirtatious. I'm tempted to say I have a boyfriend, but I also object to the idea that being possessed by another man is the only reason I'm not into him. He's a coworker, okay? I'm assuming he's not a creep and he just got the wrong idea for me being friendly at work. I made a point to chat with him because he seemed a bit lonely, and he told me some stories about fleeing his war-torn home country. He seems like he's had a rough time, except these messages are weird and super forward. I know I'm overthinking this, but I don't want things to be unpleasant at work, and I feel like it's my fault because I've been too friendly because, again, I don't normally find myself in this situation. Help me. Stop being so fucking powerless. You in your mid-30s on the downstroke to 40, and you don't know how to send somebody a text to tell him stop texting you, or better yet, just block him so he can't text you anymore? You don't know how to do that. So you had to write this long-winded letter at 30, whatever, 36 to 42 age group. You had to do that. First of all, he added you on social media. All you had to do was deny the request. Okay? I don't be social media friends with nobody that I ever worked with. Maybe after I left, but not while we were working together. Nope, that's a boundary that you're not going to be on my social media pages doing nothing. Okay, so that you could have shut it down right then and there. Then he's sending you messages. He's being flirtatious, and you say, "Look, I don't want to flirt with any coworkers. I'm here about my work, and that's all I'm about. So you really should stop texting me. And that's something to do with employment." So you have to say. And if he keeps it up, then, like I said, you block him. And if he still, gets really jiggy and just stupid, then you take all his text messages and you tell him to leave you alone, which also should be by text. And you go to HR and say, look, he's harassing me. I want this to stop. You need to talk to him because he's not listening to me when I tell him to stop. Question number 23 of 25. We're winding down. We'll be back here tomorrow, though. Those of you who wandered in late. Tomorrow is our show where we do the $10 advice show. So if you have a question that you want to get answered, you come, you pay $10 on the Cash App or YouTube Super Chat, and you ask your question. You can either call in and ask it orally, or you can type it into the chat stream. Either one works, and you get your answer right on the air, right in real time. So you got something crushing coming up for this weekend, and you need some help now. You can't wait till next Wednesday and hope that your letter gets chosen. This is the spot. It is only $10. So best deal ever, and you get some really thorough advice. So that'll be here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So just roll on through. So let's see. This young lady, she says, okay, she's 18 to 21, and her mom is in her 50s. How do I tell my mom that she's eating too much to lose any weight? I love my mom so much, but it makes me sad whenever we go into the clothing store and she finds a piece of clothing that she really likes, but she won't buy it because she'll look too fat in it. For years, she's been talking about getting healthier, and I think she's done that. But what she means is that she really wants to lose weight. The thing is, though, she eats a lot, not a lot throughout the day, but whenever I have a bowl or plate of whatever dinner we're having, she'll have double or triple the portions. Oh, wow. I just want her to feel confident again because I know it bothers her. I don't know how to tell her without seeming like I'm judging her because I think she's beautiful just the way she is. Well, she might be, but if she's eating that much, she's eating too many calories, and she's that heavy, and she's already in her 50s, that's a risky time to be doing that because that's when people start keeling over with heart attacks and strokes and shit. So, it's time. You got to really watch what you do and watch what you eat. Although mine seem to be connected to that Johnson & Johnson COVID shot, but I can't prove it. But it's mighty suspicious of somebody who was eating and exercising and doing everything, didn't have no issues. Suddenly, you know what I mean? And then to come to find out that there's a reported side effect, and a lot of people had that problem. So I'm thinking it's that. But like I said, I can't prove it. But, if your mother didn't get the Johnson & Johnson COVID shot and she's, not really taking care of herself like that, sounds like she's stress eating or slightly like depressed eating. She's going to gain more weight, and then it'll be like this endless vicious cycle. So what you can do, start suggesting, like, after you guys eat dinner, that you go out for a walk together. I suppose one of the best things to do to help you digest your food and get your metabolism stirred up to help digest your food faster. That's one thing that you can do. The other thing you can do is get one of those food apps where you enter your food and then enter what you ate and say, Mom, I'm going to start tracking my food and my calories and stuff. And it also tells you nutrition, like, how much vitamin C and D and A and stuff that you got. And, make sure that we're eating well. We might need to start taking vitamins or something like that if we want to be healthy, later or something. I don't know how you want to word it, but you got to talk around the weight. You got to bring in nutrition, and you got to suggest walking, and, you're going to be entering your food. So she's going to see, well, if you ate it and it was 600 calories and she ate 3 times as much as you did, then she's going to be able to quickly see, oh my God, I just ate more than a whole day's calorie in one meal. So, it's a kind of a way to get into her head, but not directly. So think about that. Think about, what kind of apps you can use to do that. A lot of really good ones you have to pay for, but look for some of the free ones. Some people might even, if you guys have a recommendation for an app where you could log your food and know nutrition and stuff, please put it in the chat room so the young lady can go and check them out and see if it's something that she can, start using and to help her mother on the under. Because you can track your exercise and those things too. Or you can get her, if you have siblings, you guys chip in and get her a Fitbit or something. So you can wear it around and check her steps and record her steps and stuff. I mean, there's different ways to try to help motivate her without being really direct about it. So think about it. Think about some things. If your grandparents or somebody could help you, get her a fitness tracker thing. I like Fitbit. I have a Garmin too. The Garmin I've noticed is better for like outdoors when you have to use GPS, and the Fitbit is just better for just average everyday stuff. But so I wear them interchangeably. Question number 24, summary of issue. I'm not very assertive. How could I reject a man without making things awkward and keep the peace? Oh, here we go again. I keep having men ask for my number and getting pushy. I have a traumatic past, so I'm generally afraid to say no, and I just give my number out and ghost them because it's easier than rejecting them in person. And I think it's safer. But there's someone I need to see regularly who's asked me out. I think not sure if coffee is a date, but I know he's into me, so probably. How am I supposed to reject him but have things not be awkward? Another man just asked me out last night. I gave him my number, but I ghosted him as usual because when I met him, he had bad boundaries. But I keep thinking I might run into one of these men sometime. I'm obviously not very assertive. I feel like I'm connecting Pokemons. LOL, and it needs to stop. Is there some way I can reject these men, but in a non-confrontational way that doesn't sound like rejection, especially for the man who asked me for coffee since I still need to see him? My thing is this. You said you don't want to reject him without making things awkward and keep the peace. I'm wondering why you want to assume all that responsibility for a grown man just because you said no to what he asked you. Why do you think that all of that is going to be a repercussion or a consequence of you saying no? Do you really feel like you just here to please men and give them what they want? That's your chief number one role in life? If that's what you think, you need to wake the fuck up, little girl. They ask you for your number. All you have to do is, and they start getting pushy. See, that's when you know that that's somebody who's a predator. Because a guy who wanted your number and was really interested in you would just say, okay, well, thank you. All right, I'll expect that. I'll respect that, whatever. And he goes on about his fucking business. The ones who keep trying to demand and push you into it and pressure you into giving them what they want, believe me, if you went on a date with them, it would be the same thing and it would end in an essay, because that's the kind of dudes that don't listen to no, and they don't respect women's boundaries. So you're right. You're very good at picking up on those clues and staying away from those kind of guys and ghosting them. Get your Google phone number. Give them that number. I don't know how many times I have to say that. No young woman should be giving any dude her real phone number. And guys, you should know better to think that that's what you're going to get. With all these fucking weirdos and perverts out here, these girls are scared half to death. They don't know. There's no sign on you that says that you're a regular, normal person. She's not going to know that. So don't be getting all upset. Well, you gave me your Google number. Yes, she did, because she's trying to stay alive, okay? So you talking about your fucking feelings, and she's talking about her life. There's no comparison. Someone you need to see regularly, you ask you out for coffee, you just say no. No, thank you. I'm not really interested in that. And this is what it comes interesting. They say, well, why not? I said, I don't need to give you a reason. I said, no. That's the only reason you're going to get. That's what I say. Well, damn, is what they usually respond. You so hard. Whatever. But whatever I know is I'm going to be busy doing something that ain't what you talking about. And, okay, so he's into you. He wants to get you out for coffee. So I don't trust that. Then he be putting something in your coffee. It's warm and it's dissolved real quick. I wouldn't trust that shit either. And some guy asked you out last night. I don't know why you just can't say no, thank you. You can stop there, or you can say, no, thank you. I'm not interested in dating right now, period. You or anyone else. You can say that. Some women say, I don't think my man would like that too much. But, like the lady earlier, feel like, well, to feel like I have to create a guy as a boundary. Well, yeah, you do, because other men respect other men's ownership. You don't want to look at it that way, but that's pretty much what it is. And some other dude has staked a claim in you. Other guys will respect it and back the fuck up. Doesn't mean that it's real. It doesn't mean that your boyfriend, if you have one, really thinks that way. But I'm telling you how other men think. Okay. So it's not about what's reality or what your boyfriend would really do or really feels. This is about backing them up so they leave you alone. The real disrespectful ones be, well, what's that got to do with me? Can't you have friends? No, I sure can't. And you're not a friend, and so leave me alone. This conversation is over. But anyway, she only put 24 questions in here, even though the cover page said 25. So I don't know what had happened. It did. So we're done here, ma'am. We are done. But we will be back here tomorrow at the same time at 6 o'clock. I have, some other questions. You just have some questions to start things off with until you guys come up with your own questions. This is when you can come. You can ask about a work-related issue. You can ask about a friendship issue. You can ask about a boyfriend issue. I'm not too much on gay relationships, but I mean, some of the stuff is the same, communication issues or whatever, respect and boundaries and stuff. So I'll give it a shot. You can talk about your parents or sibling relationships. So any kind of interpersonal relationship where you're having a problem, you're stuck, there's some kind of conflict you need help with resolving, you're not sure how to deal with it, the way that's going to be mutually beneficial, or try to create a win-win situation if at all possible. Tomorrow is the night. So come on through and we'll see you right here at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 if you're on the East Coast. And we'll see you here. Did you guys go take a look at the new t-shirt I made? I made a new t-shirt to wear to the gym to repel the gym mites. The link to our merch store is on the YouTube channel, community wall page. I forgot to copy it over here for today. I would do that, but I'll try to remember to do that in the future so I have it handy. But I'll see you guys, okay? Rest up well. Be ready for tomorrow because it's always some major drama.